Yeah, they have. Hey, everybody, Jared Wade, Communications Director for the town of Avon, here with Ryan Cannon, Town Manager, and we are going to be giving a quick recap of our Town Council meeting that just happened last night, which would have been April 13th. Ryan, what happened at that meeting?
Well, just like our last few meetings, it was actually a relatively quick meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Always our first meeting of the month. If you're interested, we always have department updates. So I'm not going to go through all the department updates, but if you're interested, go to the live stream and you can see kind of what all the different departments in the town are working on.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we only had two agenda items, at least two main agenda items. The first one was a partnership with the Hendricks County Highway Department for paving. So you guys may have realized that the county is out there paving County Road 100 South from Avon Avenue west to County Road 525. A couple of those areas in there are actually within the town limits, and so the town's responsible for paving those. So our county coordinated with us and asked if we would like to pave the pieces in town. Our public works staff looked at those and made the decision that we thought that was in our best interest to pave those areas. So at the same time the county's paving, they'll just pave our town pieces. So we requested approval for $37,000 for the town to pay for our portion of the paving. If you ask yourself, why does that happen? That's kind of weird. Well, that's because of the way the town boundaries are shaped. And we talk about this a lot. Some people are in town, some people are out of town. So the county does paving outside town. The town would do the paving inside town. So this is one of those ways, even though it's not really efficient and effective government, that we still try to work together and to still do the best thing in the interest of both of our taxpayers. So we appreciate the county willing to partner with us on that and do that. So 100 South will be paved. The second agenda item is a warrant analysis for Beechwood Center. A lot of you may have heard there's a new Chick-fil-A that's under construction in Beechwood Center. And so Steve Moore, our Public Works Director, being proactive, realized that we could potentially have some traffic issues with the way the stop signs are configured at Beechwood Center Drive and Beechwood Drive, which is coming off of US 36. If you guys are familiar, most places when you're coming in off of the major road, for in this case US 36, as you're entering, the entering traffic typically has the right of way. So in Beechwood Center at Beechwood Drive, it's actually the opposite. So when you're coming in off of US 36, it's a stop controlled condition. And so Steve, in anticipation of Chick-fil-A, realized that that's probably going to be bad for traffic flow, and it could also create some safety issues. And so Steve proactively went out, had an engineer do a warrant analysis. We cannot just throw stop signs up and change stop configurations. That's not actually allowed. You have to do what's called a warrant analysis, which is an engineering study. And so we had that engineering study completed, and the study did recommend changing the stop sign. So the stop sign going northbound from US 36 at Beechwood Center Drive will actually be removed, and two new stop signs will be put up east-west to stop control that traffic. And that should actually improve the traffic flow in that area and actually make it safer for everybody traveling through that intersection. So
Perfect.
Look for that stop sign change. It will be a little different. So if you like going in that area, pay attention and please follow the stop signs.
There you go.
We did have a couple ordinances, nothing that's too relevant to residents. We did a final adoption of an ordinance modifying our annual bonds for right-of-way permits, which requires if anyone's doing work in the town's right-of-way, they have to get a permit for that. We do on occasion have utilities like Citizens Water or Vectren or Duke Energy who may do multiple permits across a year. And so we have an annual bond allowance. And so we just increased that bond allowance from $5,000 to $10,000, and the town council did pass and approve that ordinance. And then we did have two introductions. You'll probably hear a lot of discussion about opioid settlements over the years. There's lots of litigation going on around opioids, and there's settlements, and those funds are being passed down to the town to help our police department and do other things to help people who have opioid addiction. So we're required by law to create those funds, so we've started the process to create those funds. That was really it. That was the whole meeting.
Now, there's one other thing that happened at the meeting that Ryan hasn't mentioned. I don't know if he's forgotten about it, but it's probably the most impactful thing that has ever happened in this community.
And I forgot about
Do
it.
you know what it is?
I don't.
We've already said good job to Steve Moore once,
Oh.
but we're going to say good job to Steve Moore again. Here in Avon, there are two famous bridges. One is the Haunted Bridge, which goes over 625. It's just southwest of Town Hall a little bit. But then on the other side of Avon, there is another bridge that how many times has a vehicle tried to go underneath this bridge that is located, it's on Raceway, right?
Yeah, on Raceway Road.
Just south of US 36. The clearance is
10 foot 6 inches.
Now I'm driving a truck and I know that my clearance is probably 11 feet 2 inches. The logical thing for me to do, let's go ahead and try to go through. And that's what happens.
Right.
What do you think? Once, twice a year?
At least 2 times a year, as long as I've worked. I can't count the number of times it's happened.
It happens maybe too much.
Entirely too much, yes.
Steve Moore has gone out and has upped the sign game, and he has installed new signs that flash. So a normal sign will just tell you, hey, if you're over 10 feet 6 inches, you probably shouldn't be going underneath this bridge. This new sign actually blinks. This LED blinks 24/7 to tell people, hey, look at this sign. It says 10 feet 6 inches. You probably shouldn't go through there. If this doesn't work, I might just have to move my office out there and then hand out slips, making sure that people know that it's only 10 feet 6 inches. Good job, Steve. Thank you for drawing a little bit more attention to that, and hopefully that will deter. If somebody else does hit that bridge, I'm sure you're going to hear about it from either ourselves or from the Avon Police Department. We normally do a pretty good job telling people when that happens, so that way they can avoid it. This weekend, something special is happening. You want to let people know what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. This weekend, we do have our Heavy Trash and Shred Day. This is a Town of Avon event that we host. We host it at our salt storage facility, which is actually right behind the Aldi, BW3s, and Ashley Furniture. So if you drive down Gable Drive, go around the back, our salt barn's back there, and we'll have staff back there to pick up your heavy trash, throw them in dumpsters. If you have private items you want shredded, there's also a shredder truck that will be there that will shred all your items as well. And that is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tomorrow.
Yep.
It is for town residents, so if you don't live in town, I'm sorry, but we do check IDs at the event. So
yep. Now, I did hear from Keaton that their busiest time is normally from like 10 until noon, somewhere in that range. So if you're able to get there a little early, or if you hit that like 11:30 range, that might be your best time. But he said that in the last, we do this twice a year, the last 2 or 3 times, it's always the busiest between 10 and noon. So if you're an early morning riser, if you can get up and you can get on your way before 9 o'clock or right at 9 o'clock, that's the best time to go. Just giving you a heads up on that one. Anything else that we need to tell people about?
I don't think so. Next meeting is April 27th.
Perfect. If you have questions, by all means, reach out to us. Let us know, avonindiana.gov. Also, our roadwork map is being updated all the time, as well as notifications being sent out about the wonderful things that are happening on the roads. Dan Jones as an example. So you can always find out what's going on with the roadwork and things that are happening at avonindiana.gov/roadwork map. It's all one word, roadwork map. You could also sign up for notifications to make sure you stay on top of what's going on by going to avonindiana.gov/alerts. If you have questions for me or Ryan or Bill or Shelby or whoever else, you can reach out to us through there as well. All of our contact information is available 24/7 at avonindiana.gov. Ryan, thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jared. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye, everyone.